Everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Doo Sue. Hope everyone's fine, doing well and busy crafting or whatever it is you're up to, and I hope you've all had a good week. Today is Friday. I can't believe it's Friday already. I've just finished work and I thought I'd get in another episode of Margarete Miller's 52-week collage challenge, hashtag CW Planner. Today we're doing hashtag CW Planner 17. I didn't start mine until April, so I'm sort of catching up with a couple of weeks if I can. So last time we did 16, which was this lovely one with Sir Winston Churchill on and the rainbow. And so try and ignore that page if you can, because we're going to be working on this page out of this A5 notepad that I've had a long time, which has white lined paper in. I've already distressed around the edges of the white paper. I'll just do that a bit more there. And the 5 prompts this time are squares, a text or a quote, a postal item, a pen or a pencil, and in brackets these can be photographs, drawn or stamped. And number 5 is something that represents summer to you. And the bonus is dictionary page. Now, I might be able to fit all of that on today. So for the squares, I was a bit stumped, but I found this nice scrapbook pad with some green gingham in. So it's made up of tiny squares. So I'm going to use that piece, which I've already torn down, and I'm going to stick that down at the top there as a background. Okay, I've got this lovely piece of thick vintage, it's very thick actually. I keep thinking, yeah, there are 2 pages stuck together. I thought it was thick. Anyway, I don't know how they've got stuck together, but let's see if we can unstick them. Let's use the ruler to see if we can get down. Not really. Oh, I think these came in a bundle that I bought on eBay of vintage items. Okay, well that one's a bit, sorry, worse for wear now, isn't it? So we can use that. So this is a vintage dictionary page. As I say, it's very, very thin and it's a lovely colour. So we're going to use that. So we can put that down the bottom half, I think, as a background, because it is bonus. And then a textual quote. Well, one of my favourite quotes is a Winnie the Pooh quote. Going back to my childhood, I love books. I'm a bookworm and I absolutely adore children's books. And I don't think it hurts for adults to still like them and still want to read them, you know. This one is Winnie the Pooh saying, "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." And it's very true. And there he is sitting there with a nice cup of tea. A bear after my own heart he is. So I love that. So I'm using that. My postal item, I've got 2 beautiful stamps. I've got a lovely stamp which is Cuban with roses on. Don't know if you can see that there. And I've got a lovely triangular Polish stamp. I believe that is Poland. Magyar Poster, I think, is Polish. I'll probably pronounce that all wrong. Anyway, I apologise to anyone listening from Poland. So we're going to use those. I love those stamps. And something that represents summer to me is this lovely collection of ice lollies that I remember having when I was growing up. So obviously we've got the 99 ice cream cornet that we get in the UK with a flake in. The ice cream man calls round, rings his bell and outrun everybody usually. And these are a great choice. There's the rocket ice lolly. I mean, those have been going for years. And there's this one, and this is my husband's favourite actually. I cannot think what that one's called off the top of my head. And then we've got a fab lolly, and it had lots of hundreds and thousands on a chocolate end. And then we have this one. And again, I think that was called Feast. And inside of that, if I remember rightly, was a tiny little chocolate bar right inside the ice cream. Making me hungry, actually. But these remind me of summer. Ice creams and ice lollies. So I'm going to use that. And then I've printed off a picture of a Murano glass nib pen. I've shown mine. I have one that we bought in Venice when we were lucky enough to go a few years ago. And I have used mine in previous videos. So this is very similar to mine. Mine's just a different colour. But I've printed that off and I'm going to cut that out and put that on. So that's what we're going to use for the pen. So I think we have everything. So let's get started. I've got my glue book there. Going to use this ink. This is my favourite vintage photo. I'm just going to distress round this now. It's not vintage, this page, out of a scrapbook. But, you know, I think all sorts of mediums are nice in a collage. You know, so we just go over it very gently with this, just to take that whiteness off a little bit, like that. Remove all of these out of the way for a second, and we are going to find a glue stick, put that ruler away, and oh gosh, that was a big pop, wasn't it? And I'm going to glue this down, and hopefully this will stick down with a glue stick. But this Scotch glue stick is really good. It's really one of the best in the UK that I've been able to source. I know they have some really good ones in the US, but we can't get those over here. So I am sticking with my Scotch one, and it's nice that they sell the bigger size actually, like this one. So I should be ordering another one of those soon. So I'm just going to put this down on the page, and I don't mind that there's the page border around it. That's quite nice. Stick that bit down and this bit down like so. Okay, that's the square background. I'm going to take this and see if I can tear it with my tear ruler, and I shall take off the top edge like so, and take this bit of white edge down the side here. Be quite gentle with this because it is really old. So I'm going to put that halfway down, I think, around about there, and around about there. And let's have a look at that. Oh, this wire for this mobile, sorry if I've moved you, but the wire keeps popping itself out and getting in the way. I'm thinking of buying another, well, I'm not sure what you call them, the stand that you put the mobile phone into film, you know, mine isn't a tripod, mine actually fits to an edge of something, shelf or the desk, with a clamp, and it's got an arm that folds in half, so that's quite good, but it's not very flexible otherwise. So the head of it, where you put the mobile phone, can move around, which is fine, but you can't really flex the arm very well, because if you pull it down too far, it goes right over the top of my head, you know, it's one of those. So I don't know, I've tried it in a couple of different positions on this desk, and so far this is the best at the moment that I've found. Was wondering whether to, because I've clamped it on the shelf above the desk, but every time I go to manipulate it, the shelf is in danger of falling out because it's It's on a metal frame, the shelving. It's like a nice metal frame work, and the shelves sit on the frame. They're not actually screwed onto it. So every time I try to pull it down a bit, I'm in danger of pulling my shelf out. And my shelf has got all of my paperweights because as I've said before, I absolutely love glass. And I love all sorts of glass things. And I've got a good collection of paperweights. I've stopped collecting them now because I've run out of space. That's a problem, it's where to put everything, isn't it? Right, so we've got the bonus on. We've got our squares. Now, let's take this down a bit. These ice creams. Could have done with one of these yesterday. It was so hot. Today it is, I think it went up to about 24 degrees in the UK. But I mean, I know in the US and Canada and places like that, it's probably not really very hot compared to your weather, but it is hot for us, and we're actually, excuse me, I dropped a stamp, we're not actually used to it, so we'll give this a quick ink round because it's got white showing around the edges now where I tore it. And we've got that. Then we've got our stamps. Now, I seem to have lost one of the stamps already. Oh, I don't think it fell on the floor with the other one. Just hope it's there. It was on top of the bin. That was lucky, wasn't it? I saw it. So we've got our stamps. We've got a lovely quote by Winnie the Pooh. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to tear it. So I'm going to tear it this way. I find I'm better off tearing with my right hand doing the tearing and the left hand holding the paper now, because I'm right-handed, but whether that is just my imagination that it seems to be better, I don't know, but we'll see. So I want to tear this out because I don't want everything to be square. Okay, I might need to tweak that a bit. Let's tear along here. I always have these peaks. Oh, like little mountains they are on all my hand-torn things. I'm just making that worse. I'm making that into a mountain range. Take a bit off here. Now, yes, is there a tutorial at all for tearing? Because I could do with it. If there is. So we've got Winnie the Pooh here. So we're going to ink round Winnie the Pooh. I do love the stories of Winnie the Pooh. My favourite childhood author was actually Enid Blyton. I just consumed her books from a very young age. Right, so we've got Winnie the Pooh, and then we've got the pen. And again, I'm going to hand tear this pen out. Oh, I'm making a lot of paper rubbish in the bin. I could do with taking it and putting it in the shredding bag at work, actually, but it's getting it there, you know. I have to take a laptop in as it is, and that's quite heavy, so we have got a shredder here, but we don't have a shredding collection like we do at work. I do keep some of my white copy paper that kind of I'm cutting things out of if I do have to print anything from the computer onto copy paper. I do keep a lot of it for scrap pads, but I've got so many of those now. But I've had to stop doing that. It's a good way of recycling paper, just use it as a jotter. Make your own little scrap pad. Let's take a bit more off of there. Yes, so I don't know if I finished saying the weather. Oh, it looks like crocodiles had a go at it. It actually looks a bit like a crocodile shape. I think I'm going to take the shadow. There's a shadow of it, you see, behind where it's sitting on the surface, and I've tried to cut that to tear around that. I actually don't think I'm going to bother. I'm just going to tear that out like that. Yes, so the weather here today, if I haven't already said, I keep forgetting what I'm saying, is raining. Haha. Yesterday was a scorcher for us. Today it's raining and it's cooler. Mind you, when I got home from work last night, our hanging baskets at the front of the house had completely drooped. You'd think they were, well, they were on the way out. I'm just going to cut this bit. Okay. Yes, they were awful, so I had to get those down. When my husband got home from work, I had to get him to, I can't reach them. And we've been watering them, but just were in full sun and they just couldn't take it. So they were our spring hanging baskets, and they have like the spring lovely pansies and things in, but which have all been doing extremely well, and they were absolutely fine. And so I had to ask him to get them down so that we could just pour water over them in the shade, and then pour water over them in the shade. Sorry, I was concentrating. And then hope that they'll revive. And today they do look like they've revived a bit, but it's probably time to go out and buy some summer plants to go in them, So this is what I've got. So this is what I'm thinking of, putting the pen up the side like that, having one of those lovely stamps up the top, having Winnie the Pooh behind the ice cream, because I'm sure he'd love those anyway, and having this little triangular one down here. And I think that would be rather nice. So I'm just going to go around the edge of the stamps so that everything is consistent. And then I think we'll get them stuck down. Okay, so I think we'll put Winnie the Pooh down first. We're going to have him up here. We want some of that page showing with the squares, obviously. Then we're going to have this next. All the lovely retro ice lollies that actually are retro but are still being sold. Every one of those. Oh, I think the one that my husband loves, I've just remembered, I think that's called a twister. So he used to have those in Ireland when he was growing up. So he remembers those well, and we still buy those. In fact, I think he had the last one out of the freezer last night because he's such a big kid. Well, I didn't have one. I'm trying to cut down actually this week on things like that, so I have not given in and had one. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here. like there, somehow like that. And then we're just going to put this triangle on. I think this is amazing, this triangular stamp. I really do love it. And that, I think, is going to be that. And I'm not sticking the prompts on. I used to, but I stopped because I only have one A5 sheet, and it does tend to take up everything, you know, all the room. So I'm just going to put that down there to cover up Winston for a minute and show you. This is hashtag CW Planner 17, and it is squares. So we've got the gingham background. Textual Quote, so we've got a quote by Winnie the Pooh. We've got a lovely Murano glass nib pen down the side. We've got the retro ice creams and ice lollies that represent summer to me. And we've got the lovely old dictionary page here as the bonus. And we've got our postal item, which I've put 2 stamps down for. So that's everything. And I'm not sure now whether we need to put anything else on here, really. No, I think I'm just going to leave it like that today, because I do like that, and I think that would be nice just left as it is. So I'm going to say that's it, done, dusted, and that's me today. So we've got the weekend to look forward to, haven't we, this weekend? So let's hope the weather does perk up a little bit. And I mean, it's warm enough out there. I've been out with Paddy Dog, and he doesn't mind the weather. He doesn't mind whether it's, you know, raining or not, really. He just shakes himself along en route as we're going along. But at least today he can go out, you know, any time of the day. But when it's really hot like it was yesterday, it's not good for dogs to go out walking about, because they can burn their paws. So we've not been able to sort of take him out as early as we normally do. Kind of like when I finish work at 4, I often take him straight after that. But yesterday it was far too hot, so I had to wait until the evening to go. But he's happy. He doesn't seem to know the difference between the times, except he knows when he wants to go out. So he loves to go out at 10:30 for some reason in the morning. So I tend to move my half-hour lunch up to then, take him out then, and then work through until 4 if I'm at home. And obviously yesterday we did manage to get out for a short while first thing in the morning, so he was quite happy with that. Seemed to know that was fine. So yeah, so he was a lucky boy yesterday. Anyway, everything else is fine. Glad it's Friday, feeling really tired, but it's just because I've gone back to work after a week off, and it's manic at work, as I've said before. But I don't want to keep banging on about that. I'm sure you don't want to hear about all of that. My tiredness mainly comes from my autoimmune disease, PBC, that I now have. So I just have to really learn to live with it and learn to pace myself, which is why I haven't been on much this week, because I have been so tired, and work does mentally drain you. It's more mental than physical, to be honest. Yeah, so what else have I got to say? Elmo's out and about now. He's fine. He's been allowed to be let out of his jail. The nursing home is totally closed down. The skip's gone. Everything's gone. I've been past this week. I had to post a couple of letters, and that seems to... There doesn't seem to be any sign of anyone. No windows open that I can see. So he's perfectly fine. He has tendency to go off for a couple of hours. So I suspect that he has favourite spots in the garden there that he always frequented, and I think he's just going back there and lying somewhere nice where he used to lie. But I have no qualms now about him being out, because I know he can't get in anywhere. So he's a happy boy at the moment, so that's good. So, and he puts Paddy in his place if he gets a bit too silly with him, because Paddy thinks it's a, you know, great game to start wanting to play, and he, you know, bounces around him, a bit like Tigger really, out of Winnie the Pooh. And Elmo, sometimes he can't stand that, so he just gives him a box around the ears. And Paddy yelped the other day, and I knew that Elmo had given him a box round the ears, and I just said to Paddy, you know, you shouldn't tease him, that's your own fault. You're just, you know, he's not afraid of you whatsoever, and he does not think that you are top dog. He is top cat, and he will put you in your place. So that was a bit funny, actually. I mean, Paddy was fine. He doesn't have any claw marks on him or anything, but I have actually seen Elmo go with his paws to him like a boxer. So and Pebbles, our other cat, she'll sometimes be lying on the chair in the conservatory, and Paddy will walk under her, and she'll just put her paw out and pat him on the head. And sometimes, if he doesn't realise she's on that chair, he looks up in really startled. She makes him jump. So they do have a game with him. It's lovely that they all get on really together. Sometimes we have all three of them in the bedroom with us at night. Can you believe it? There'd be one under the bed, one on the floor down by the bed, and obviously Paddy dog, who insists on getting on the bed. Sometimes we say, oh, everyone's in the bed. It's a bit like the grandparents in their bed out of the film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We've got everybody in the bedroom, you know, the whole family. I mean, if the fish could get up here out of the fish tank, I'm sure they would. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. I'm sure you've got better things to do than listen to me waffling. But we will leave it at that, and I will see you next time. And the next episode I'm going to be putting on YouTube will be probably my peacock journal. So that's something to look forward to, I hope. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.